or share something. Let's share something that that happened to us yesterday that was positive, or maybe you want to share something that you're grateful for. Let's start off the morning right. Because thinking is the beginning of all this stuff that we're going to talk about today. Thinking big. So who wants to share?
I can start.
Right,
Absolutely grateful for Tiana for letting me do an open house. It allotted me the opportunity to get some leads, followed up, and was able to get some touches and some really good feedback. And even though they're passively looking, it's someone that I'm adding into my sales pipeline that I'm going to continue to touch. And I think it's going to be a very fruitful encounter. So definitely grateful for that. And then yesterday, just kind of working on the same tactics, let people know that I'm in the industry again, let them know. And people were like, oh, shoot, didn't even know. Well, hey, I know someone. Let's get in contact. And so just following the process.
there you go. Just a quick note on the open house. Like, remember that everyone is passively looking until they find the property.
Exactly.
And then they're hustling, right?
Then immediately trying to get in.
Right. And everything is calm until the moment they find the property. And then they're saying, oh, who's my realtor? Who am I supposed to call? And if they call you, you're going to get paid. If they don't call you because you haven't been following up, or you didn't deliver enough value or whatever, then you're not going to get paid, right? So just because they tell you they're passively looking, don't let up on them.
Oh no, not at all.
They just need homes to see, right?
Exactly.
So send them a home that's pretty and say, hey, I'm going to be in the area tomorrow afternoon. You want to join me? Right.
Oh yeah.
As you know, that area where the open house is, that's a very the area changes from street to street almost.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
so
it's definitely transitioning, but on that particular block, there's a lot of folks who are already starting to renovate. So door knocking, it's either originals or it's only people who have been there less than 5 years.
Exactly.
So that's showing the transition already. So yeah, I'm definitely.
And those people that have been there 5 years have made a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks for sharing, Chris. Who else wants to share?
Well, I had an offer accepted, so that's
nice. Donna?
Yeah. I think it was the temporary occupancy that did it. Because it's an FHA loan, so
okay.
I was very.
And what is your client buying?
Oh, this is really a fixer-upper. It's at a low price point. She's a first-time home buyer.
Why are you all negative about that?
I'm not. It's just I'm a little stressed out about the inspection report. So yeah. Okay. I'm not negative. I'm very happy for her because she needed to find something relatively quickly.
Right.
So I'm very happy that our offer was accepted. Yeah, it was a big surprise because we were competing against cash buyers, a conventional loan, another excellent FHA offer, and even a VA loan. So we were very happy. We found out late Saturday night.
Okay. So remember, you can send me that inspection report if you want me to take a peek at it, but it is what it is. Like, she's buying a home in that price range. Like, she as a homeowner is going to need to prepare herself mentally and financially for what homeownership requires, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first priority is to establish health and safety issues, right? Mm-hmm. And the second priority is to establish cosmetic things, or things that are, don't necessarily need to be addressed on day one. But remember, there's really two discussions. One is, it's really one, if you look at it, which is this the best home that I can acquire in my price range today for my circumstances, right? Meaning FHA loan and all that, right? Mm-hmm. And if the answer is yes, even if the home is not in great shape, that might be the best option for them.
It is the best option. Okay. It is.
Keep that in mind the whole time. Keep that in mind the whole time. That is the theme of all of your conversations. is the best home for me has this issue, that issue, that issue. But if you go to find a different home, number one, it's going to have a bunch of those issues anyway, and it's going to be less of the best home.
Right.
Your
Right.
job is to help them accumulate all the information they need to make that choice. Their job is to make the choice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Congratulations, man. We're doing great.
Well,
Heather had a closing
thank you.
yesterday.
Nice job.
All right, let's do one more. Ebony, brighten up our days. Please.
It's a great day, but I'm overwhelmed. My listing that I had about 8 offers on it. It's under contract.
Beautiful.
Yay, Ebony.
Man, y'all need to,
So exciting.
y'all are having good stuff happening, and you're like, I'm under contract.
No, Bill, you have no idea. This was like, I had to block some investors who wanted this home because they started stalking me and it has been, oh my God, the weekend from hell. Like, it was a great weekend, but I'm exhausted. And then I'm also trying to have another buyer who I just picked up, and she has this condo. The agent is in our office, and this agent is amazing, and she is working with me so hard to get this done. So that's been stressing me too. I think I have it, and I think I have it. I'll know like later on today, but
that is amazing. Will you let us know? Let me tell you two observations I have from what you just said. The reason investors want to be in that community is why? Because there's no rental restriction.
Exactly.
You need to meet every single person that owns in that community.
Oh, I did that.
Every one of them. Draw yourself a little map, and your job is to find out who lives in every single one of those places and get into a relationship with them. Because number one, investors will buy those homes over and over and over, which as a sidebar, you should be saying to yourself, is this a good investment for me? Right? So we can talk about that offline, but that there's 8 losers and a bunch of investors that want to, I shouldn't say it that way, but 8 people who didn't win the contract and a bunch of investors that want to get into that neighborhood. Your job is to go find another seller.
Yeah, I can attest to that
find another
too.
seller.
Drew and I did an open house at a townhome the weekend before last, and it was the same situation. No rental restrictions, and we were like bombarded at the open house with investors. And so yeah, I can attest to that.
Okay, well, if you go find 5 sellers, you know how many closings you're gonna have?
You're
Gonna
right.
have 5.
You're right.
Right. And by the way, you'll probably end up with another 8 offers on each of those. And then you'll be able to use that as bait to go find more sellers. This could be the beginning of the windfall that you've been waiting for.
You're right. I just have to.
It likely is. It likely is. This is what we've been waiting for. Ebony, in one day, you had a seller go under contract and a buyer that's about to buy. Wow.
Yeah.
High fives, man. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Trent, I'm going to put you on the spot for a second, sir. You there?
Sure thing.
All right. Trent spent a week in
Yeah, I'm here.
Las Vegas, right? Is that
Yeah.
right? All right. You went to a Tom Ferry conference.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Tell us what is the most important?
It was Mike Ferry.
Mike Ferry, sorry. What is the most amazing aha you had? What was the biggest thing you learned? Teach us.
All of the top producers from around the world have one thing in common. They all started from the bottom, prospecting 2 to 3 hours per day, a lot even more. There was one girl who started when she was 18, still a senior in college, or senior in high school, I'm sorry. And she just started role playing 3 to 4 hours per day with her parents who are realtors. Now she's doing 400 transactions per year, has her own team. And she's only like 29, 30 years old. So it's very possible. All you have to do is stick to it, keep on your lead generation, and don't ever quit, even when the business picks up and you feel overwhelmed. Just hire out admin to help you out with it and continue lead generating. Her biggest takeaway, that same girl, it was something along the lines of, I lead generate so I don't have to tolerate.
Yes.
Yeah. So that lead generate, continue to lead generate so you don't have to tolerate the bad clients.
That's right. And you can pick and choose who you work with.
Exactly.
Right. And you go into somebody's home and they're giving you the runaround and they appear to be lying, or they don't appear to be a person of integrity, or they want you to challenge your values or your ethics. You got to go. Make sense?
Inspirational.
That is awesome. I'm so glad you made the investment of your time, and Trent, congratulations on that, sir. I'm glad you learned that message early, and I know for certain that's the path that you're on. So great work. Okay, I want to show you guys. I'm going to share my screen with you and show you a couple of slides from the Maps Models program. So this document, I'm just actually, hang on, let me share the document with you real fast in this chat, and then I will share it on the screen. So I don't know if you guys know this, you should know this, but this PDF is in the Google Drive. If you've not spent some time kind of perusing the Google Drive, there's some really great stuff in there. This is, as you guys know, Keller Williams is a company of systems and models, yes? And what they noticed is that a lot of people, there was not like one place where all the models were. And so they've created a class called the Maps Models class, which is basically a workbook, has 192 pages in it. And it is showing you basically all of the Keller Williams models all in one place. So I just want to show you this, this slide real fast. Okay, what is the purpose of a model? A model is a pattern of something to be made, an example for imitation, serving as or capable of serving as a pattern to be imitated. Why models? Actions are the source of all results. That's basically a mic drop moment right there. And discovering what people do to lead to specific results is called modeling. Success is less complicated than most people make it, and it leaves clues. All action plans must be reduced to simplicity in order for us to implement them. Models are a way for us to visualize the actions that lead to success and communicate that path in the most simple manner. So let's look at some different options here. You can have actions and results, right? Actions repeated without thinking create results, okay? They're gonna create a certain level of results. Thinking and then actions are gonna create better results. Actions repeated based on thinking can create better results. And actions repeated based on thoughtful models create the best results. So first you start with thinking, then you look for a model, then you take action, then you seek you ultimately earn the best results. Okay, so I know this is a class on thinking, but I want to touch on the models for just a moment. Okay, here's a couple. You know, Gary's kind of style is that he will basically put out a bunch of myths and then basically debunk the myth. Okay, so myth number one: I don't need models. Yes, you do. In fact, you already have them. They're how you get things done. When your results matter, you don't want models that limit you, right? So you got to ask yourself, are the models the systems that I'm using to hit my goals, are they ones that are creating the results that I seek, or are they not serving me properly? Models limit my freedom. No, they don't. Models set you free because you can make better decisions more quickly and have a better life as a result. Sounds like something that most of us are seeking. Models are just opinions. Models are initially based on either opinion or fact. However, once implemented and shown to deliver a predictable outcome, a model is now proven and is no longer an opinion. I love his writing style, right? Do you think it's fair to say that the millionaire real estate agent models are not an opinion anymore? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
I think so.
More like a guide.
Right. Any model that is not implemented enough to have a predictable outcome remains an opinion as to its deliverable outcomes. Okay. Let me give you an example. Let's put this into real life for a second. You're hosting an open house on Sunday. Is your system or model, is that throw a couple balloons up Sunday at lunchtime and hope the world shows up at 2? Or are you taking intentional acts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, prior to the open house to increase the number of people that know about it and increase therefore your results. Are you running a big model or are you running a smaller model? Make sense? It's going to be hard to think. If you think big, you'll end up with big models. If you think small, you'll have small models. That'll give you small results. Okay. The model won't work for me. This is a great one. A model will work for you if you follow it because it has predictable results. The questions are these the results you want? And is this a model you will follow? If you're saying it won't work for you, you're actually saying that you won't work for a model. So if you were to say, well, I can't do open houses, or I'm getting bad results from open houses. The question is which model for open houses are you following? Are you even following a model, right? I don't need to change. What I'm doing is getting me the results I want. As you grow, you'll want better and better models. If it matters, you're fooling yourself if you think that good enough is good enough. If you want to if you want to lead a vertical life in the areas that matter, you'll want the best models. So take a look at this graph right here. It says that this on the upper boundary, it's thinking, on the lower axis, it's time and effort. Okay, so if your actions are flatter, you'll end up with a smaller outcome. Okay, if your actions are steeper, you'll end up with a bigger outcome because you're thinking bigger. The question is how big is your, what they call your box, right? And that's what, how, and who. Who is probably the most important, by the way. What, how, and who. So basically, the people that you surround yourself with, the models that you initiate, and how you implement those models is going to give you a leg up as to the acceleration, if you will, of your model, and therefore of your outcome. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's think about a real estate example for a second. So if you come to the office, okay, and you are surrounded by a bunch of people who are generating leads and being working that day, you think it's easier or harder to do what you're supposed to do?
Easier.
Exactly. Now, if you're at home by yourself and no one around you appears like they're at work, and maybe if there are people around you, maybe your kids or whatever, and they're not working, obviously, then is it easier or harder for you to get the things you need done?
Impossible.
Yeah, the only thing worse than no, right? So you got to ask yourself, if I want a bigger outcome, I'm going to have to start thinking bigger, and I'm going to have to start putting myself in an environment that is supportive of my production goals. Yes? Right? So let's say, maybe this is a little an off-color comment, but let's say that there's a group of, well, let's say it the other way. Let's say there's a handful of people that are all hanging out together and they're all morbidly obese. Okay. Do you think that somebody that is eating properly and going to the gym every day and all that, do you think they hang out in that circle? No. They'd look around and say, hey, the model of this little pod here is not the model I want. I need to surround myself in a different environment. You see what I'm saying? They just don't mix that well. Y'all follow that? So look at this real fast. Now, thinking big requires big models, but also it requires specific habits. So let's talk about that for a moment. Again, on this left axis is production, and on the right axis is time. Okay, so if you have $2.5 million habits, your business will look a bit different than if you have $5 million habits. Yes. What about $10 million habits? For example, when you're selling $10 million worth of real estate, you don't have a lot of time to waste. And you're probably a bit beyond the point where you have brought on some help. So if you are the business owner that's about to hire your first help, right? The help is most likely going to look at you and say, hey, can I get to where I want to be in my career, in my life, by hopping on your train, right? What kind of models and thinking do you have? What type of leadership skills do you have? What type of vision do you have? And the talented person is only going to tolerate incredible, envious results. Somebody who, quote, just needs a job, right? They just want a job. They don't really care. You see what I'm saying? So you want to bring the right people into your world, but remember, the right people want to be with the right people. So as you're building your business, remember, you also need to be building your leadership skills and your acumen and your habits and your behavior, so you can be as attractive as possible to the best candidates. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
By the way, the best candidates in some instances could be the best lenders, the best appraisers, the best electricians, the best closing attorneys, the best painters, the best carpenters, the best landscapers, right? It's all the people that you're trying to put in your world, right? The best life insurance salesman, the best financial advisor, the best tax guy, whatever, right? So if you're a dud, they're not going to tolerate that. So you have to be taking action every single day to build high level habits so you can start thinking the way that high level people think. Make sense? Remember that what got you here won't get you there. Make sense? So as we're building our business, by the way, that's why we have several different groups in PC, is because the models that are necessary for somebody to get started at the very beginning are different than the models, for example, that you guys need today to take your business to the next level, right? They're still learning how to write contracts. Ebony, you're trying to juggle 3 clients right now, right?
Yes.
Or more. So you need different models. You need to say to yourself, oh my gosh, I think I need a buyer system or a seller system, or I need to, maybe go back to my calendar and say, okay, I need to get a little bit more particular around what I do when, and what I allow to disrupt this. Because now you have more, you're more, I don't want to say popular, but people have more demands on your time. And you're just getting started, right? So as you get better and better, and as you have more and more success and you're sharing that success, other people are going to want to participate in that. Oh, Ebony, can I take you out for coffee and pick your brain? That doesn't sound like a meeting I want to take. I want to take a meeting where they say, hey, I've got a great idea and something that can help you and your family create wealth. Can I have 20 minutes of your time? I'll buy you a cup of coffee. Now I'm going to that meeting. But if somebody wants to, quote, pick my brain, what's in it for me, honestly? Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Somebody that wants to, quote, pick my brain doesn't care that much about their calendar. You see what I'm saying? What do you guys, can you guys think of an example of when big thinking has led to bigger results for you? Can you think of an example of when you've been hindered by small thinking?
I mean, when my wife and I were first discussing retirement, she's very, let's save, let's save, let's save. And then that'll help us out, where I'm very much, let's invest, let's do this. And we kind of abandoned our old way of thinking, jumped on board on that big picture thinking, and we purchased 2 rental properties, and it kind of started the trajectory into this idea of, okay, what can we do to expand on this? Since we've done it at this kind of a lower level, can we move it up to the next level? So that's been pretty helpful for us.
Mhm. So good. Thank you for sharing that. A good response when an idea comes into your brain, rather than saying, oh, I can't do that. Oh, that's too big. Oh, how will that happen? Say, what if it could happen? What would I have to do to be a part of this happening? Right. So when I sit down with a lot of agents and I'm talking about their goals, what I find is that often, like especially brand new people, one of the first things they think is, you can tell they're thinking about a number, and then the second they start thinking about the number, then they start thinking this idea like, well, I'm brand new, so I wonder if that's realistic or not. So realistically, I'd like this. I said, don't tell me what you think is realistic. Just tell me what you want. Because if you tell me what you want, that is most likely tied to what you need, right? So look at this, for example. You guys have seen this economic model. We've all kind of looked at it together. Okay, and this is, I want you to look at this number right here. If you want to sell 12 units with these details, you just need to talk to 9 people a day. Okay, and you'll make $126,000. Okay, so any number you tell me, no matter how big it is, there is a mathematical equation on what you're going to have to do to get there. So if you want to do this, you simply need to take 2 pieces of business per month. Is that possible?
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. So what if you wanted to double this? You say, oh my gosh, 24 deals? That's a lot. Okay, well, you're going to make $252,000. Congratulations. Now you simply need to do 16 contacts a day, and you'll take 3 pieces of business per month. And you got to go on 5 appointments. If I were to tell you guys, hey, 5 appointments a month, you got to attend, 3 of them they'll sign, 2 of them you'll close, and you'll make $250,000. And you can do that simply by talking to 16 people a day. Is there anybody that would say no to that?
I hope not.
I hope not too. Okay, so you start looking at this and you say, oh my gosh, this is pushing it. Okay, let's go to 50. 50, you're going to make $500,000. And all you got to do is talk to 33 people, go on 10 appointments a month, so a little over 2 a week, take 7 deals, close 4. Are there people in our office doing this?
A lot of people in our office doing this.
You're right. Now, the majority of them, or if not all of them, have some help, because 33 people alone is very difficult, but it certainly could be done with 2 people, right? All right, let's go a little higher. How about 200? You make $2.1 million, and you have to talk to 129 people, right? Okay, and you're going to close 200 units. So the average person, I'd say, can close about 20. Usually when a team hires somebody, the goal is for them to close about 25 sales a year. Okay, so that's probably going to be 8 salespeople. And 8 salespeople are just talking to 16 people each per day. And they'll go on that number of appointments, sign that many listings, and they'll sit at 17 closing tables a day. They're pretty much going to a closing every single day. That's pretty exciting, isn't it? So can you bring a person into your organization and say, hey, you go close 25 units. I'll give you all the systems, all the tools. I'll help you with the thinking. And then you just follow this model and you'll make over $100,000. I just show you this to show you that no matter what number you put here or what number you want there, okay, there's a mathematical equation to get there. So you got to say to yourself, Ebony, are you capable of doing 129 contacts per day? Doubtful, right? Could you inspire others to help you with that? Likely, yeah, right? So it's kind of like saying, if you own a plumbing company and you've got 1 truck and you got 1 set of plumbing tools, how many toilets can you fix at one time? 1. Yes? Come on, I'm almost done. 1 toilet, yes?
Yes.
Yes, just that one toilet.
Right. Now, what if you got 4 people that call in, they need toilets fixed? Can you fix all 4 at the same time?
No.
No, you gotta grow. You gotta grow. You need 4 trucks and 4 sets of tools and 4 workers, right? So why don't we think that way? Ebony, if you were to get 6 people call you today that says, hey, I'm ready to sign a buyer brokerage agreement and start working with you. I met you 17 months ago and I'm ready. Wouldn't that be cool? What are you going to say no to 5 of them? Of course not.
Not at all.
Right? You're going to figure out a way to make it work. Maybe you'll have a showing assistant, or maybe you'll team up with somebody and knock it all out together, but you're going to make it work. You're going to be forced to think big so that you can have bigger results. Right? So I want you to ask yourself, what if this was possible? Trent, you met a woman who was doing 400 deals a year. That's 2 closings a day.
She does, I think 2 or 120 herself. The rest of her team does the remainder.
I mean, that's pretty insane. So you got to ask yourself, how did she do that? And I guarantee she has a hell of a quality of life. She's probably not working till 11 o'clock at night and waking up at 5 in the morning and missing kids' events at her school and all that kind of stuff.
She gets home at 3 p.m. every day.
Thinking big, guys, allows you big results so you can grow other people too, right? And then they can win within your world. Make sense? So if you have a budget of, let's go much lower. Let's say 30. Oh, I stopped sharing it. Hang on. Let's say you want to do 30 units because your family needs $315,000 to live the lifestyle that you desire. Okay. Can you go on 6 appointments per month and take a new piece of business every week? You're going to make 300 grand. You could probably do that yourself, maybe with some admin support. Okay, 20 people a day. You guys did that for 6 weeks straight when you were in bold. What if you just kept up those bold habits? Is that thinking big? Bold's not supposed to be over technically, right? You go 20 contacts a day, you're talking about over $315,000, y'all. Did anyone die in the bold room, by the way?
Not that I noticed.
I didn't notice anyone that died either. Is this possible? Once your thinking is stretched, guys, it can't go back. So I'm going to encourage you to let's adopt a way, instead of thinking that something can't happen, say, I'm pretty sure this can happen. So is there a model that I can seek out or learn about so that I can learn about how many people it's going to take to get there, right? Or who I need to get into business with, or who I need to learn from? Then you say, is there anybody that's ever done this before? I wonder how they think. I wonder what books they read. I wonder what their calendar looks like. I wonder what coaching they pay for. Make sense? All right, you guys are torturing me with a bunch of black squares here. Does that make sense, everybody?
It
does.
does.
Okay, was this helpful?
Very
Yeah.
helpful.
Yes.
So think big, y'all. Say, what if? When somebody says, oh, I can't do all that myself. Well, what if you could? What would you have to do it? Well, I'd have to hire a babysitter. Okay, so can we hire a babysitter? Right? Oh, I'd have to bring my little kid to the open house. Okay, are you willing to? Right? All right, y'all. Oh, I forgot. I want to remind you all, I'm going to ask you very kindly, all day Friday at the office, I'm trying to encourage people to come in. I just posted a revised calendar. Come into the Market Center and use this as a time to really finish the month strong with contacts and database ads. So an all-day lead generation party Friday at the office, okay? Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Phil.